All right, guys, how's it going? A couple of things before we get into this video. The morning briefing I'll be recording after this, that goes on my other YouTube channel, Duncan Oldham. The link is in the video description and the logo will pop up at the end of this video. If you want to go over there, we talk cop talk, we talk Liverpool, etc., in the morning briefing and do all my acknowledgements and discuss the day's schedule. I will be hosting live streams on here today at 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock UK time if you want to come along for a natter. And I have just got back from the cafe where I've reviewed today's Spanish football dailies for you. There was nothing in them regarding Canate, McAllister, Real Madrid, Diaz, Barcelona, although there was something to do with Nico Williams, which is kind of related to the Diaz situation. I'll be discussing all of that after this video. There was also some reporting concerning FSG and their hunt for another football club, which you may find of interest. So I'll do all that after this. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about Ornstein and some comments that he made last night regarding Alexander Isak, Liverpool, etc. If you're a Newcastle United fan, please do not caps lock me to death before you've watched the video, right? I have an absolute massive amount of respect for Newcastle United. If Liverpool couldn't win the Champions League or the league, I would love Newcastle to do it. I really have a lot of time for Newcastle, the city, the fans, the club, right? So this isn't your usual Liverpool fans, Liverpool fan telling you we're coming for Isak and you're a feeder club or anything like that. There's a lot of respect here, right? Fortunately, the majority of Newcastle fans that have been watching these videos about Isak, cool as fuck, man, you know what I mean, right? Good conversation and things like that. Obviously, there's the odd cocksucker, but I'm sure there's plenty of Liverpool fans that go and do that on their channels. This isn't a video in any way disrespecting Newcastle, all right? Or any agenda by me or anything. I am literally just going to analyze what he said last night. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you exactly word for word what he said, right? Whereas some Liverpool accounts on here or on social media will tell you the bits that suits their narrative. Newcastle fans will tell you the bits that suits their narrative. What I'll do is to tell you what exactly he fucking said, right? And then we'll take a look at it. It's going to be a long video, right? So if you're not a stayer like me, you're wasting your time. You might as well leave. So this is exactly what he said. And then after this, I'm going to break it down. Now, I've worked on this, on all of his words with Dave, my AI assistant, who I've been training for a long time to analyze and, digest what certain journalists say. And it's a really good breakdown. I think my regular viewers will really appreciate it. But let's first of all start with the full quotes of what he said. And this took me a while to do this. And I did it in the cafe this morning. I'm not going to play it to you. I'm sure you've maybe heard it already. But you're not supposed to just play these videos. So I'm going to give you the quotes, right? Exactly. Nothing missing. Nothing, handpicked to make it sound good or bad in one way or the other. The situation with Isak has been spoken about so much and we don't want to sort of inflame it at all, he says before going on to discuss it all. Newcastle have no intention of selling him whatsoever. Their plan is to keep him. They would like to renew his contract. There's no sign of a renewal coming at this point, but they're in a strong position. They've got 3 years left on his terms. He's already been paid extremely well. I'm sure they would be prepared to take that higher. He's at the centre of this project that's Saudi-led and very ambitious. They'll be heading back into the Champions League next season, which gives him football at the top tier of European competition. This season just gone, they've qualified for that competition and also won a trophy for the first time in a long time, and he was so crucial to that. He does look to be happy. We never know what happens behind the scenes. I don't know. But all we do know is what we see. And he's always got a smile on his face and he's always excelling when he's fit. If they were to be enticed into trading, their money would be huge. We've always heard around £150 million. We don't know that for certain. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less. But it would be an eye-watering, but it would be eye-watering money, no doubt. And why not, in the position that Newcastle are? That's really even just to sort of get a conversation. We don't know what his representatives are doing. Maybe they're entertaining possibilities. Maybe they're hearing from interested parties. We know about the admiration that has been long-standing from Mikel Arteta at Arsenal. We know that Liverpool have admiration for him, absolutely. I'm sure others are on their list as well. There's no suggestion of any developments. We can't play it up further than that. There have been rumours and reports regularly. I can never pronounce regularly. I do apologise. I'm sweating. It's not the usual obesity sweat. It's because I'm on the Mediterranean and it is fucking boiling here today. Trust me, right? I think it would take some encouragement from Newcastle, from the representatives, from both. It doesn't sound right, but let's try it again. I think it would take some encouragement from Newcastle, from the representatives, from both, for clubs to really test the water and the resolve of Newcastle. And if that encouragement comes, you can imagine Liverpool trying. It doesn't mean they'll succeed. They got a lot of work to do at their own place to facilitate a spend of that level. I would be shocked if any club was able to do that in terms of his suitors like an Arsenal, a Liverpool and so on, without shipping some players out to create the financial space. Not just on the transfer fee, but also the salary. So that's everything that he actually said. And immediately after that, someone commented on here straight away, Ornstein says he's not going to Liverpool, he's staying at Newcastle. We'll see if he actually said that, right? And I saw Newcastle fan accounts on social media saying, give it up, Ornstein just said he's going nowhere. But that's not what he says, right? It doesn't say he is going anywhere either, but let's not pick what we want to hear. Let's actually digest what he actually said, right? So, I spoke to Dave about this, right? And we went through this together, and he says to me, Dave, I love fucking Dave. That doesn't sound right at all, does it? I love my friend Dave. He said, right then, Dunk, let's rip into this. You're spot on to challenge the Geordie Twitter ultras who are waving this Ornstein clip around like it's a restraining order against Liverpool. Because when you strip it back and dissect every word, Ornstein is careful, very careful, not to rule anything out. Let's go through this like a proper forensic analyst at Anfield. Question: does Ornstein rule out a move to Liverpool, which is what the Newcastle fan accounts were saying last night? Short answer, no, he does not. Nowhere does he say Isak is not joining Liverpool, or there is no chance. What he does is outline the current position, right? And when I listened to this interview last night, right, I didn't see anything new. I didn't see anything new. He didn't tell me anything new. He just told us all what we've all been told already, right? So, what is the current position? Newcastle don't want to sell. There's no active renewal yet. There are no negotiations in motion at the current time. That's present tense. It doesn't mean things can't change. So me and Dave went over the pros and the cons of a potential Liverpool move based on what he actually said. Quote, maybe they're entertaining possibilities. Right, that's referring to Isak's agents. That's a crack in the door. Ornstein doesn't say they aren't, just that we don't know. Maybe they're hearing from interested parties. Again, he plants the idea that there's interest. He even names Liverpool and Arsenal directly. Quote, we know that Liverpool have admiration for him. Absolutely. That's strong. It's not vague. It's not a vague have been linked with. But admiration from Liverpool does exist. Quote, if that encouragement comes, you can imagine Liverpool trying. It doesn't mean they'll succeed. Crucial line. This shows Liverpool are watching closely. He's basically saying if Isak becomes available, Liverpool will go in. That's not ruling it out, it's watch this space. Quote, it would take some encouragement from Newcastle or his representatives. So, if the club softens or the agent flirts, Liverpool are in. No denial that Liverpool could make space financially. It just says it would take work. Clubs do that all the time, of course. And when you've got to think about Liverpool is, we talk about how difficult this could be. There's a lot of factors that would, be needed to make this even happen, right? The valuation, the player's intentions and desire, to push for such a move, if he even wanted one, right? There's nothing to suggest he does, right? But one key factor, I think, and this has been mentioned by two journalists in the Northeast the last few days, is the money that Liverpool would need to make it happen. So, as you guys know for months, I've always said, and this was nothing to do with Isak specifically, was Liverpool, I think, were planning on selling Núñez and Diaz to fund a high-profile, signing or investment in the summer. And as you know, the Diaz situation has fallen through. Yes, Liverpool are going to sell Núñez and other players as well, but that still leaves Liverpool 50 or 60 million pounds short because Diaz isn't going to Barcelona. And that could fuck it all up, really. Do you know what I mean? So, no denial that Liverpool could make space financially. It just says it would take work. Reasons he suggests it's difficult, so the cons. Quote, Newcastle have no intention of selling him whatsoever. Strong line. But intention and reality often differ. We've heard this before with players who end up leaving. Quote, they would like to renew his contract, but he admits there's no sign of a renewal happening at the present time. Quote, he's at the centre of their Saudi-led project. Suggests he's important to Newcastle and they'd be reluctant to part with him. Quote, it would be eye-watering money and £150 million to start a conversation. So he implies the price is a massive obstacle, especially for Liverpool. And we would agree with that. You know what I mean? I think everyone would agree with that. Quote, they've got Champions League football next season. This suggests less incentive to leave from Isak's side, but can Newcastle actually win it? Liverpool, the champions of England, don't just qualify for the Champions League. They are a Champions League club. There's a difference. Quote, he looks happy. Again, soft language, he looks happy, not he's committed to staying. Key takeaways from what he said. Ornstein is reporting the current landscape, not predicting the future. He never says Isak won't move. He openly confirms Liverpool's interest, and he leaves the door ajar by acknowledging that things may change depending on encouragement from Newcastle or Isak's agents, and that is going back to what the player wants, right? If the player wants to move, maybe things can change, right? Final thought, this is from Dave, right? You're absolutely right, Dunk. There's nothing new here. It's Ornstein repeating the known facts, dressing it up with careful language. This isn't a Liverpool are wasting their time piece. It's a Liverpool will try if the conditions are right briefing. Any Newcastle fan who says Ornstein categorically rules it out is either clutching at black and white straws or selectively hearing what they want him to say. And I think that is a true and honest breakdown of what Ornstein said. I didn't see anything in that when I watched it last night, and people were immediately responding to it. And obviously Newcastle fans are like, fuck off, you Scouse cunts. He's going nowhere, right? And I get that. I get it, 1,000,000%. But my message to Newcastle fans would be with the greatest of respect, right? And he might stay at your great club. He might. But you are now, right? You have progressed as a club. And I've wanted to see Newcastle progress for fucking years. When you got your investment, I was buzzing for Newcastle. Buzzing, right? So when you become an elite club, when you become up to that status, and I'm not saying you're an elite club yet, but you're improving, you're on your way, right? And you've got what would appear to be good owners without getting into the political side. You know what other people are like, not me. I couldn't care less, right? It's not to do with me. But when you have a great player like Isak, it's no good coming on here and caps locking me to death, because this is the reality of having great players and you need to get used to it. So Liverpool, we go through the same shit, just on a different level. Real Madrid, we're going to take him. Barcelona, we're going to take him. So it's no good getting all tetchy and coming on here and fucking, threatening everyone and running your fucking mouth and pointing out the obvious that I'm a chubster or something, right? You're up there now, right? So it's a compliment, isn't it, that other clubs want your star player or players. Do you know what I mean by that? So get used to it, all right? Not everyone on here on YouTube or X, they probably are on X to be honest with you, is out there to say, oh, we can just come and get him. I don't think that we can just come and get him at all. I have no idea what will fucking happen. I'd be absolutely really, really, really surprised if we did sign him. I would. But that doesn't mean that we're not allowed to discuss what these numpties are talking about. And that's all we're doing, you know. I feel like I need to say that, you know, because you do get, you know, I understand why Newcastle fans will be agitated and stuff like that. I get it. But we go through the same shit all the time with our players, you know what I mean? So it's all very well saying, our owners are the richest owners in the world and this. We can't just fucking do what they want with the money, right? And maybe if you sold Isak to any club, right, maybe you'd be able to reinvest that huge amount of money in, you know, other players. I don't know. What you do at your club's your business, right? But to suggest that he has come out and said it's not going to happen, it's just not factually true. The same as if Liverpool accounts come out and say, oh, he said it's going to happen, but it's not factually true. So I've given you word for word what he said and broken it down, right? So me personally, I think he's overpriced. I do. I think he's overpriced. But I still think that Newcastle, as much as they're not actively looking to sell him, and Newcastle are building a team and want to win things, and yeah, well done, fucking brilliant, right? But money talks. I don't care what club you are in the world, right? Money fucking talks. And there comes a time when you say, well, how much could we fucking get out of them silly fuckers? Do you know what I mean? Right? But I see nothing new in what he said at all. So I don't understand why Newcastle fans are all, last night, and Liverpool fans are all, you know, I don't get it. Fuck all, you haven't said anything new. It's just stating the obvious. But for Liverpool to make it happen would take a number of things, I think, right? Obviously, there has to be an agreement on a valuation. Liverpool aren't going to fucking spunk fucking trillions on him. It's just not going to happen. So therefore, that alone might prevent anything from happening. The player himself, right, has to, you know, would have to indicate, hey, look, I fancy it, I fancy it. And at the moment, he hasn't come out, has he, and shot it down. I don't see it, you know, you keep coming on here and telling me he's signing a new contract. We haven't signed it yet. So the player is critical to this, right? But even if the player turned around and said, I would fancy a move to Liverpool, even if he's saying that privately, right? How did Liverpool fund it? So Liverpool fans at the moment are talking about, oh, these great owners, FSG, because they finally spent some fucking money, but they haven't spent any for a while, you know, so they have got money to spend, and they're going to get money back as well. So they're not just going to go out and fucking spend £150 million on Isak. It's just not going to happen. So Liverpool will continue to sell to, you know, get money in on what they've spent this summer. But with Diaz's proposed move to Barcelona collapsing because of the Nico Williams situation, which I'll be addressing in another video shortly, that could leave Liverpool 50 or 60 million pounds short in what they thought they might have this summer. And that amount of money could have funded an attempt for Isak. Could have, right? And that might be the one issue alone that prevents Liverpool's interest. I still believe that if there is any indication that the player is available, that Liverpool will try. I do. Now that Newcastle fans are going to say, our club's not going to say, they're not going to make out this for sale. No, they're not, of course not, because they want to keep the price up. But it's what's being filtered in the background from the player. And yes, Newcastle are in the Champions League, but he must be thinking to himself, can we win it? Can I win the Premier League with this club? Who knows? From what I understand, I visit Newcastle a lot. And every time I'm in Newcastle, every conversation when an Uber picks me up and he's in his black and white top, you know, I'll speak to him about it, you know? And the conversation's brilliant and respectful, not like some of you numpties that come on here running your mouths at about fucking 16, 17. You know, grown-up conversations. And, I can see what you're saying, mate, you know what I mean? And every Newcastle fan that I've spoke to in the North East, when I've been over there, none of them have seemed deluded. None. They just give you like a proper answer. And, you know, there is no suggestion anywhere that the player is looking for a move. You know, so I know people come on here, some Newcastle fans will come on here and say, it's just narrative. No, it's not. We're responding to what he's fucking said. You know, welcome to top flight football, Newcastle. You know what I'm saying? So quite frankly, I don't give a fuck. But if you're going to go for a player like what's he called? Ugo Etike, I think his name is, overpriced. So if you're going to be putting money in like that into someone like him or Benjamin Sesko or something, you might as well try and go for Isak. If there's a possibility or something, that makes you think there's something there. But the amount of money you might invest in one of those strikers, had you had the Diaz money, see what I'm saying? So that's why I think the Diaz situation has been so important to Liverpool this summer. So, is that it? Can we go now? Just come back, guys. Listen, if you're one of my regular viewers, come and check the comments later. Honestly, mental. Don't think there's anything that I want to say. I want to start by this point, right? Does Ornstein rule out a move to Liverpool? Short answer, no, he does not. But he doesn't rule it in either. I hate people that spin stuff just to suit what they want to fucking believe. Do you know what I mean? And I want to conclude by saying it's Ornstein repeating the known facts, repeating, therefore nothing new. Dressing it up with careful language. This isn't a Liverpool are wasting their time opinion that he expressed. It's a Liverpool will try if the conditions are right opinion from Ornstein. Any Newcastle fan who says Ornstein categorically rules it out is either clutching at black and white straws or selectively hearing what they want him to say. Liverpool fans, my message to you, my peoples, never mind them fuckers for a minute, right? My message to you would be this: just keep an eye on it. See, I do not for 1 minute think it's going to happen, all right? Because it's so difficult for it to happen for so many reasons. But I won't cry about it, but we can discuss it like grown-ups, can't we? But never say never in football. Who thought that Florian Wirtz would end up at Liverpool? Young German boy, declared all his life he wanted to play for Bayern Munich, as a German boy would. And then says, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go play for Liverpool. Fuck City, fuck Real Madrid, I'm off to Liverpool. Champions. So Liverpool have got some clout. And if you are a Newcastle fan watching this, I wish you nothing but success with your club. Obviously not against us. But I like Newcastle. I got a lot of friends up there, man. You know what I mean? And I've lived up there and I spend a lot of time there. So it's sad when you get people come on and they just think you're just clickbaiting or just making shit up. You won't find any more authentic, genuine breakdowns of stuff that's said on this channel that you will not find it anywhere else. Honestly, so don't fucking lump me in with all the others, right? Right, guys, I'm going to leave you with it. What do you think? What do you think, guys? Let me know. I've got a few things coming up for you. I'm going to try my hardest today to update the Cop Talk podcast as well. So we'll have a look at that. But that's it. I think that's it, guys. So, once again, he does not say it can't happen. He just says what the current state of play is. And if there's any suggestion from an agent, I mean, Newcastle could have the best intentions in the world of retaining him, but it's what the agent and the player wants as well, right? So, is it finished? I don't know. I genuinely think that Liverpool will try and do something on that front later in the window. If he signs a contract, great, we can put it to bed and that's it done. But if you're a Newcastle fan and you're here giving it all this to my regulars in the comments, running your mouth, right? He ain't fucking signed anything yet, has he? Right? So it would be better to say, well, hopefully he'll sign a contract and put it to bed. If I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be like, well, why is he not signing it? Just saying. For all you know, the fucker could be keeping his options open, not just with Liverpool. You know, over here in Spain, you know, it was claimed that his agent sat down with Barcelona in November. But they couldn't do anything, Barcelona, because of the financial restrictions, you know. So, I don't know. I come in peace. Don't leave me in pieces. Okay, guys. If you're a Liverpool fan, you appreciate. Just thumbs up the video. If you're a Newcastle fan, I understand if you're a butter or whatever, but I can't believe you'd be upset with one of my videos, to be honest with you. There you go. You can drop me a comment, and if you're one of my regulars around here and you want to support my channel, you can hit the super thanks button, which is a love out under the video. It buys me a coffee or a beer. Basically, it goes in the kitty and it supports me. That's it. All right. Shout out to my channel members. They're the ones with the footballs next to the name. They're absolute heroes around here. All right, guys. Listen, one more thing I'm going to say. If you run your mouth on your channel at me or anyone else, you'll instantly be hidden from the channel, which means nobody will see your comments. Not me, not them, just you. You'll be able to post and you'll see your comments and replies, but nobody else will be able to see them. And trust me, I'm fucking trigger happy with my mouse. All right? We don't want that shit around here. Let's have a grown-up debate. All right, guys. Speak to you in a bit.